Welcome back to the adventure, everybody. We're heading into Turtle Rock today, the final dungeon. You can get through it fairly quickly if you know a few shortcuts. I'll give you the best guide I can to get through it, but we will be exploring all the dungeon because we have a few things to find. Fairly nice music for the dungeon, a little on the ominous side. As you can expect for this point in the game. You will run into some mini-bosses from the past here, but given we're well equipped, we can defeat them pretty easily. In this room, you'll have these peculiar gadgets which you control with the control stick or the plus pad in the original games. You will have to fill in the floor whenever you're using them. They're fairly easy to use, but make sure they are actually turning properly. If we head up here, we'll see a path to later in the dungeon that we can't go through. We'll also see that we can push these if we want to get back. Head down here to navigate through the dungeon. We'll set our boomerang and manage to fall down a hole. ₹50 in a chest, not too bad. We'll have to rack up a bit of money perhaps. And here we are, we've run into rolling bones from the first dungeon. Not too much trouble, but as I've mentioned, if you can get to stun lock him, you'll take him down pretty easily. Head up from here and defeat the Vire. You will have seen me fighting the Vire in the very first part of the episode while I was showing off the music. They've become much stronger. They're a bit tougher to defeat, and they're much better at dodging long-range weapons. Separate them into their two smaller versions. In previous games, Vires turned into Keese when defeated. You would have to defeat them with much stronger weapons to stop them splitting. As for this area, just defeat that vacuum mouth and we grab the compass for the dungeon. So as you can see, we've already made some pretty good progress on the dungeon. If you want, you can take Manbo's Mambo to warp back, but we will still need to grab some keys so we can get where we're going. Now the trick to getting where we want to go is actually quite well hidden. For starters, we should be heading off this way. Don't worry about the Vire for now. Instead, we'll maneuver past the sparks and to get to the door down there, which is where we need to go, hit that switch. Defeat the arm mimics and you'll activate a staircase. In the original game, arm mimics actually did the most damage out of any enemy. 3 whole hearts worth of damage. Quite a force to be reckoned with, but thankfully they're not as troublesome here. And I still can't jump very well. It has been a running problem throughout this adventure. There are several underground passages in Turtle Rock, but you can't get through some because blocks of ice are in the way. Now we want to take out that BMOS, defeat the enemies in here, and hit the switch under the pot. And look, we've run into Rover again. Alternatively, you can call him Smasher. Both names have been used in the series. Oh, just missed. If we head down, we can access another staircase. And is there a chest? There is a chest in here too. There's the stone beak if you want to grab it. We don't need to worry about that staircase in the corner there. What we do need to do is head over here, because we'll run into another of these peculiar... I'm not exactly sure what to call them. Device probably doesn't quite sound right. But either way, fill in the floor and we'll get a key. Difficult to notice, but there is a cracked wall up there. This is integral to getting the item for this dungeon. You can actually leave Turtle Rock by a northern entry. Don't. That will reset this switch, and you'll have to go through the whole dungeon again. Get the integral item first off. We can't proceed through this main area here, but we can drop down and grab another item. Or just another dud. So we're back in familiar territory. If you want, that chest there will get you the map. We will go and grab it, but I'll be using Manbo's Mambo to get back to the start of the dungeon rather than going through that path, because that takes us to somewhere we've been before. I probably actually will show you just for the sake of demonstration. I'll also show off what the map of Turtle Rock looks like. It is meant to vaguely resemble a turtle. Put a bomb here and we'll be able to get to a staircase. We can't push any of those blocks out of the way. Strangely enough, this cannot be moved. It seems like it should be able to. These do not move either. So we are stuck going down this pathway. When I tried to record this the first time, I had some simply terrible luck and poor skill trying to navigate areas like this. Head up this staircase. And there we are in the room with the ropes and that chest we picked up. So as you can see, things connect to each other fairly well. And let's keep making our way back so we can get to that little device near the map. So we want to go in here, just like that, and then we push this block, and away we go. We'll have to take care of the Vire as well, because it's probably going to be a bit of a bother, and it will stalk us through the areas. However, if it's out of the way, quickly switch to your arrows, blow up the wall there. And dodge the P-hats while we're at it. There's another shortcut right there. If we head off This way we'll find a little resupply room. So we'll need to jump through here and bomb that wall. We need one more key to do what we want to do. And accessing it is a bit of a doozy. But the owl statue will give us advice as always.
If the statue looks strange, shoot it with the bow.
Might as well take his advice. Climb up here. Fire a shot right into the eye and we've got the key we need. We can still proceed through here. As you can see, there's a path over here which will get us another key. But we'll worry about that a little later on. We can also proceed up there, but don't go that way just yet. Instead, go back through here. We've got our little pathway down here. We can head through this way, but we want to go through the locked block. Set your hookshot and grapple over. This room. I had a lot of trouble with this room because I decided it would be a good idea to show off. Unfortunately, my attempts to do really fancy jumps like this one ended with me landing in the lava. To be honest, you might actually find yourself asking, why do fools fall in lava? Stupid stunts, that's why. And those blocks have to be down so that we can get the item there. That is why you do not leave the dungeon. We're ready to face our mini-boss, Boxin Blano. If you've played Oracle of Seasons, you might recognise Blano from there. Dodge his attacks, wait for him to wind up, and hit him. Blano's jabs can stun you. That wind-up punch used to send you back to the start of the dungeon, making him even more annoying. It will send you back one room. 4 hits will take Blano down. The mini-boss warp will be activated as well, just in case, but it's not the most helpful. Anyway. We have the dungeon item, the magic rod. Particularly useful. We can attack from a distance, light torches, but I do have to say that it's not as useful as it used to be. The magic rod in the original games was incredibly overpowered. It would defeat just about anything in one shot. If you felt like being particularly cruel, you could set dogs and cuckoos on fire and defeat them without any retribution. So from here, of course, I just had to fall off, didn't I? But that's okay because we do have a pathway out. Let's see. We can move down here, push this block, and jump over here. We will need to loop around to the start again, but this will enable us to go and get the boss key. It is a little unfortunate. So let's give a quick demonstration. Via now dodges the magic rod, but if you manage to get a shot in close, it's not going to defeat it. The magic rod smashed pretty much everything in one shot in the original games. It's nowhere near as useful, but it will come in handy. It's very useful for grilling blocks of ice, and it will take out basic enemies. Now, keep in mind, when you're using it, unlike the original games, you won't wind up being stuck with that "this is a block of solid ice" message. That only happens if you check the blocks. Oh, we do need one more key. I've been a little bit hasty. However, I think we can actually jump down here. Hook shot over to the chest, so it wasn't a complete waste. And we get 50 rupees. This was the next area I was going to take you, because it actually leads outside. And we have another heart piece. This was the last of the original heart pieces sitting atop Turtle Rock. We only have 2 more, and they're tied in with Dampé's challenges. We also have a fairly useless warp point, just in case we do actually need to go and get supplies. For example, you will need supplies to take on the Dodongo snakes here, if you're a terrible shot like I am. Especially since I'm bad at predicting their movements. You have to defeat them from this higher level because the key will drop up on this level. There we go, we'll wait for them to start opening their mouths again. That worked surprisingly well. I thought it was going to bounce off their shell. Now, I apologise for just charging ahead and not realising I needed a key to go and get the boss key. I'm a little enthusiastic in trying to show a quick path through things. But we will be able to grab some keys in this area. Wait for it to become vulnerable. And that time, I think I did a better job. So there's our chest with a key. If we head just over to the east there, we'll be able to get another one. Now, if you want an easy time defeating these enemies, lob a bomb. That did not go as far as I thought it was going to. That... There we go. Bombs will destroy cracked floors very quickly. Don't stand still or else they will take you out. Don't. Oh, I thought the floor was going to break under me. So if you head down, you'll wind up going to a path we can't really do very much with, as the map will show us. We need to go over this way, I believe. Let's quickly check again. This will establish a few pathways and will also be able to grab some secret medicine in that chest up there. So we can unlock that door if we're looking for a shortcut, because that will lead us back to this room. If you go up, you'll get a little resupply room, along with the secret medicine. I do need some supplies, so we'll grab those. We're pretty much set to navigate the rest of Turtle Rock now. If we head through this pathway, we will need our hookshot. The last time we saw those was back in Catfish's Maw. So, now, remember how I said we didn't really have too far to go? We're not far below the room where we bombed the floor to defeat the Gibdos. And we can head up that way, but it's not going to do us any good. Instead, bait these and unlock the door. Once again, our friend the Vire is back, and we can loop around so we can go to get the boss key. Jump over here, I don't think I can perform an amazing angled jump. Oh, I actually did! Given my track record, I've managed to do some terrible things. I am definitely living proof of the saying, white men can't jump. Both in sport and using the Rock's Feather and Pegasus boots. However, that worked out a little better than I thought it was going to, and we can finally go to grab our boss key. But not before we fight Cue Ball again. Not really different. We might take a little bit of damage, but as you can see, it's not much. I wonder if we can shoot him from range with the magic rod. Over and attack. Nope, doesn't appear to do any damage. As before, just a thoroughly arduous battle. And it ends a little earlier than I think it's going to. Grab that if you need a bit of healing. And jump over. It's very impressive exactly how Link can avoid being set on fire by all these lava dungeons. Just the air alone should be enough to cook him. Anyway. Navigate this particular area as I'm doing. And this will net us the boss key. Puzzles like these would actually be reused in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, where you had to walk across all the steps in Wallace's gym. You had to crack every ice tile without breaking them. In a sense, there are certain floors you have to walk on to change them all to red in Oracle of Ages. Perhaps an adaptation of that. There was even one in Hero's Cave where no matter what, you'd only wind up having one tile left over. Completely against what you might think, you had to use the Cane of Samaria on it. So, we don't have anywhere we can go because we are lacking one key. We have admittedly skipped out on a couple of rooms over here. We can get a key in there, but we don't really need it. If you like, I will try and show it to you. But it only establishes a link through there. What we do want to do, if we're interested in proceeding, is walk back to the entrance with Manbo's Mambo. The entrance to the boss door is very close. We don't need to take the mini-boss warp. Instead, we need to maneuver around this way. Let's... Across we go, and this innocuous staircase is where we head to battle the boss. Now, it can be a little bit tiresome navigating this dungeon in all fairness. So. And I managed to get the Goomba, that's alright. We do, unfortunately, have to take a wild shot as we drop at that. And it is a bit of a problem because you could sort of exploit hitboxes with the magic rod in the original game, but in this it's a bit more pernickety. And it's always just off, isn't it? There we go, and we actually stuck the landing. So for this one, blast your way across there, blast that, step on here, and jump over and up your staircase to reach the boss. I think we've had a much smoother run than my first attempt at recording this. And our boss battle is ready.
You're finished! I will never let you play the instruments of the sirens!
Hothead could dish out a fair bit of damage in the original game. He's been toned down a bit here, but you can dodge his attacks pretty easily. The secret to success? Blasting him with the magic rod. Keep firing and you'll break open that carapace. Don't be a terrible shot like I am. Admittedly, his movement has been improved. You could stun lock him and beat him easily in the original game, so they have at least given him something to work with. When that shell cracks open, he's close to defeat. Keep sniping him with the magic rod.
Why did you come here? If it weren't for you, nothing would have to change. You cannot wake the windfish. Remember, you too are in the dream.
Our second last heart container. Interestingly enough, Dampe's challenges also give us a heart container. And here is the final instrument of the sirens. That's all of them, but we aren't going to the egg just yet. What we will do is duck out of the way of those Dactos and kill them, and then we shall be returning to Dampe's shack. The next few episodes are going to focus on Dampe's challenges to get the essential items from there. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on our adventure through Koholint Island, where we start screwing around making dungeons.